So,
Please rise to the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Stefan, will you take attendance, please?
Certainly. President D'Alessandro.
Here.
Vice President Brazington.
Here.
Secretary Stefan here. Treasurer Guthrie.
Here.
Trustee Donald.
Here.
Trustee Schaefer. Not. Trustee Bailey. Here.
Okay. Any changes to the agenda?
None.
None. Okay, item 3, consent agenda. We have the meeting minutes of July 25th and bills payable for June of 2018 in the amount of $3,468,305.64. And we have a recommendation for employment for a Spanish teacher at Clear Lake. A motion?
Just,
Oh.
it should be June 27th.
June.
2017.
Sorry.
Oh, yes.
Good catch, Mr. Brown. Consent agenda is for June 25th. Bills payable is June 20, for 2017. You tell us summer vacation. Yeah, maybe you lost a year? Not quite so much. All right, have a motion, please. Brazington,
Move to approve the consent agenda as modified and presented.
support. Support, Mrs. Guthrie. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 4, prearranged request to address the board. Mr. Cocasetta, Crossroads.
So I need a microphone or no?
Council, should I pick you up? Yes, please.
Good evening. I don't know if I know all of you. My name is Guy Cocasetta. I happen to be your principal over at Oxford Crossroads Day School. I got a year under my belt, so you haven't heard anything bad, so that's a good thing. I got a short presentation up here. I just want to pull up for you real quick. Okay, as you know, Oxford Crossroads Day School, we're a very unique setting in Oxford Public Schools, but it's a great setting. I just want to briefly take you through what we offer there to the students that we service and tell you what good things that are happening with us. Currently, we have 5 programs that we're running, and that 5 different units, we call them. Our Achievement Center, and we're going to start with our Adjudicated Youth, which is our juvenile justice program, students on probation through the courts. Our Achievement Center is our boot camp program. It's a secondary male unit, typically a 4.5-month program, very structured. Our students wear the prison blues, we call them. They have physical training in the morning and in the afternoon. They also do most of the physical labor around the campus. If the groundskeeper needs something hauled, they haul it. They clean our school for us on a daily basis. We have age range from 14 to 17 years old there. It's one of our highest achieving units because there's no nonsense. The 2 therapists that run the unit are very good, and also it is the court workers are very, very, how shall I say, they keep the kids under a tight thumb. So there's no behavior issues with these boys. And if there is a behavior issue, there's an escalation process, usually to Children's Village or OCJ, which is Oakland County Jail. Our second unit is the Learning Center unit. It's students still on probation through the courts, and it's a more flexible unit. We service kids from the Tri-County area, Oakland, Wayne, and Macomb. These kids are bussed in daily through Crossroads for Youth, the agency. We have middle school students all the way up into senior year. And those kids can run from anywhere from a month placement to the time they graduate. It all depends on what the judge says with the court worker and working with Crossroads for Youth and myself. We're going to get into our DHHS program. Our DHHS program is our students are abuse, neglect, foster kids, basically wards of the state that stay on Crossroads property all year round. These kids are usually dealt with some pretty serious trauma. And when I say trauma, that is a very light term for it. These kids have been through the ringer. And I'm going to tell you some of the files I've read make you sick. So, special place in my heart for the DHHS students. Also, they are our most difficult in regards to behaviors. We run a very, very, very tight program with them in regards to social work, evaluation, and working closely with the therapist. Our Summit House is the girls program. The girls stay on campus all year round. There's also, we go K-12 with the Summit House, also K-12 with the Boys Center, which is the boy unit. We have a girl unit and a boy unit that's segregated, but not at school. We intermingle, basically it's Michigan Merit Curriculum from 9 through 12, and then our middle school program, we try to go a lower middle school program and an upper middle school program, like 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th type situation, depending on the numbers. And then our community program is a new program. It's been around for a little bit. We reacted at this past year. It's any student with an IEP from Oxford schools who are under a long-term suspension. They can be referred to Crossroads as a possible placement. Also, students from surrounding districts with an IEP can also be looked at as a possible placement through an intake process run by the agency partnering with Oxford professionals. And we charge a tuition rate for those students, which is split between the agency and the district. It's like a revenue generating type thing. Basically, it's districts we take a kid from another district. They say, hey, can you service them? I say, absolutely, bring them. More kids the merrier, I say, in my program. So those are the 5 units we run there. And I'll give you time for questions at the end if you have any. Some of our successes, like I said, I took over last year. We had 6 graduates last year, which in my eyes, that's phenomenal. I mean, we really did a really good job last year, is getting those kids in, aligning their curriculum, what they needed, and graduating 6 kids. We had an 82% passing rate in our GED. We're also a private GED testing site over there. So what happens is I'll get a student come in from, let's say, Oakland County. He has 2 credits. He's 17 years old. No way he can graduate by the time he's 18. Therefore, I'll put him in a GED track. We do half our GED prep online and half out of the book, and then we set up a time to give them the test, and we had an 82% pass rate on that last year. We also implemented a school-wide color-coded behavior level system, which is a ruler approach to behaviors. Ruler is the acronym. Don't ask me what it is right now, it's been a long day. But it's basically every student that comes through Crossroads starts on a red level, and we have level sheets. It's based on behavior. It's also their bathroom pass for the day. They must hold on to that sheet, and what they do is the better behavior, the easier they can move up the scale. And it's about a 2 to 3 week period. By the time they have to get a certain percentage points in those points, and once they get a highest percentage, they move up to yellow and eventually to green. And if they're on green, we try to mimic a typical high school setting, just like Oxford High School or any other surrounding public school that we offer. And we have a strict code of conduct. We have a strict dress code. So if I let the kids, if I let them wear jeans and a hoodie, it's a good day for them. You know what I mean? Because we have to keep it pretty strict there. So if they get to green, and I'm gathering the data currently on the direct correlation of kids on the green sheet and their grades. And from what I look at, the longer a kid is on green, the more success they're having in the academic world, which is a good thing. That's what the whole point of implementing some of this was for. The most important thing we do is we successfully evaluate every student that walks through our door, ensuring that every student has the full force of what Oxford Schools has to offer. There is no point in us doing anything if we don't evaluate these kids and put our stamp of approval on their education. And I hold that. I will fight for that till I'm not working here anymore. I get kids that come in from different counties and from different school districts, charter schools, whatnot, and their paperwork is just shoddy at best. Their past is shoddy at best. I have kids that don't go to school for a year, maybe 6 months at a time. So every kid that walks through my doors, we give them the full evaluation and we put them on the best track of what they can accomplish while they're with me. Whether that be a GED track, a graduation track, whether that be putting them on an IEP if they have a disability in a certain area that was not caught before, or whatever that may be for that individual student, that's what we do there. I have 5 teachers, a full-time social worker, and a full-time psychologist, and believe me, we are busy. Okay? And then we've established an excellent relationship between the agency and the district. Mark Porter is the director over there at Crossroads for Youth. I worked very hard at building that relationship up, and I don't see that relationship going anywhere. So we have a very strong relationship with the agency. They pretty much lead the schooling to Oxford schools, which is what we need them to be. And then the last little picture of myself, there were a couple of my graduates last year. In closing, I just want to tell you guys that my staff and myself have one mission, and that's to give every student that walks through our doors an opportunity to get their lives back on track. We believe that all children not only deserve a second chance, but a third, fourth, and even fifth if necessary. I feel very strong that if we as a district don't do everything we possibly can for the 50 to 60 students we have at any given time, we should really look in the mirror and ask ourselves if we really want to be educators moving forward. And I really believe in that little statement I put there. I mean, that's not from a book, that's from me. And I'm going to tell you right now, I believe in that because I might have 50 or 60 students at any given time, but I saw over 300 come through my doors last year. And we gave every student that came through our doors an opportunity to have a high quality education that Oxford Schools provides, and we're going to continue doing that as we move forward. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Question? Ms. Guthrie?
Thank you so much for presenting this information. It's really helpful to know. So I have a couple of quick questions. How many students do you think are coming in this coming school year? You mentioned 300 last year. Do you know how many?
Currently I have 48 on my census right now. I got the census today.
Okay, sorry if you shared that before. I just...
Yeah, I didn't share it before, but yeah, we have 48. And what usually happens is what I've looked at the numbers before is we start out on the lower level, and then once the court system gets, once the school year gets on, it's easier to place students at Crossroads for Youth rather than Children's Village because of our schooling that's right on campus.
Yeah, it sounds like a good success step for them.
Yeah, so we started, like last year for instance, we started at 40 at count day, and we ended up, our highest number was 71, and then we finished with 56. But like I said, we had over 300 kids come through the door last year.
Wow.
So.
One more quick question. Of the 5 programs that you detailed, how many of those programs were new programs that you implemented just out of your own creation last year? Were any of those new?
The community program
Okay.
was new. That was our intake process was built between the Summit House and Boys Center. Those are the DHS programs that are on campus. Those are the abuse, neglects, foster kids. The achievement centers, the boot camp, learning centers, the probationary kids, and then our community program was kind of a hybrid. And we really worked hard with the agency on how the intake process looks, who's going to run the paperwork, who's going to send the bill out, who's going to collect the money, and we hammered out all those details last year. And the process that we came up with is fluid, it works, and it's easy. So like the community kids that we had that started with us last year, it was for a complete, it was for 180 days of instruction. So they'll be starting with us at the beginning of this year coming up, and then we'll be transitioning them back to the resident district. Or they're going to be staying with us, and we'll charge them again for more tuition. You know what I mean? It depends on what's best for the kid.
That's great. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Anybody else? Mr. Stubbe?
Yeah, a couple of questions. You mentioned one of the programs was a tuition-based.
Yeah, it's our community program.
That's the community program. And then you'd mentioned the fluctuation, 40 on count days, 56 at the end. How does that balance, and 300 coming through, that's a lot of extra work. How does that financially support itself then?
We're a Section 24 funded school. So what happens is, and Sam, you can stop me if I misstep, and I'm pretty good at this. Oxford pays the bill up front, and then the following fiscal year we will go back to the state through Section 24 and through all of our paperwork that we sign throughout the year, and the state will reimburse us for the amount of students that we had in each particular count. So for the formula, it is for every 8 students we're allowed 1 teacher. So 8 times 5 is 40, and that'd be 5 teachers. That's the magic number at count, is 40 students. That'll keep my 5 teachers in the building, my social worker, my psychologist, and the building principal, my secretary, all paid for. We try to stay right around breaking even as much as we can. Now, insurance costs, all that stuff that we can't really, we don't know the numbers, so the budget's already done, we can't really account for. But we try to keep it right around breaking even, so it doesn't cost the district a penny.
So, but when you get up to, when you hit a maximum of 70 in the house,
Now, unfortunately, it only goes on, I can't really bang get the money for those kids, because it all goes to the count in regards to getting reimbursed. So it is a lot of extra work on our people,
Right.
but at the same time, that's what we do.
and almost double the class size, if you will.
Absolutely.
At that point.
Yes.
Okay.
Just one of the things that you just can't really plan for, unfortunately.
Mhm.
Mr. Brown?
So maybe just a follow-up point, and I know Denise and Sam probably get tired of me hearing this. From a financial standpoint, the best we can do with Section 24 is break even. It's the best. The worst, I shouldn't say the worst, if it's not the best, what happens is we incur costs, we submit those costs to the state, and the state may come back and say, we're not gonna allow that expense, or we don't have that much money to dole out to all of the participating organizations, and therefore you're only gonna get X amount. So financially, the district acts as the cash flow manager. We put everything up front. We hope to break even, and that was one of the benefits of the community program that they started, was that it gave us an ability, let's say that maybe a student is expelled in, doesn't matter, Rochester, and that district has nowhere to send them. Districts now have a choice that they could send that student over to Crossroads, and we would charge them tuition to accept that student. So it's a way of generating revenue to help offset some of those costs. Does that make sense?
In the best interest of the student.
No, if I could.
Yes.
With that, does that tuition, do those tuition dollars factor into, we can't do better than break even?
No,
Okay, so that's
So
an
that-
accounting formula outside of
correct,
the Section 24.
correct.
Sorry, next question. How many, does every district have a Section 24 school? Or
No,
10% of the school
No.
districts?
no.
You're looking.
We are very unique.
Lake, Oxford and Children's Village. That's it.
For
In
Oakland County?
Mhm.
Okay, so 2 in Oakland County,
Mhm.
that's it.
Denise, if you had to guess, how many would you say?
Statewide.
State?
30. Like I think of that sheet,
Yeah.
Sam, where like the Section 24, there's a pot of money of $800,000 statewide. And so you go through this repetitive formula of reimbursement.
Sorry to correct you, Denise, 8 million.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right, yeah.
So.
The 800,000 is not going very far.
Sorry.
That's all right.
So there's probably 30 districts. When I think of like, there's like 2 pages,
Yeah.
right? It's like a page and a half
Yeah.
of districts that run Section 24 programs.
Okay, so then the obvious question, why do you do it?
We have to, because they're court-placed, because
No. We're the only district other than Children's Village. Why is it that we have to?
Is there facilities there?
Because the facility, Crossroads for Youth, is in Oxford.
In our
Miss
school
Bibby,
boundary.
It's
Maybe-
in our
Oh,
school district
Oh,
boundary.
okay.
I think,
So
Maybe-
Crossroads for Youth was set up then by the state, when that's the agency that you're talking about.
Yes.
Correct.
It used
Used
to
to be
be,
Camp Oakland.
it used to be Camp Oakland, so years and years ago, you had Children's Village and a judge decided he was gonna create this program called Camp Oakland. It was kind of like a step down. Children's Village, kids are locked in.
Right.
Crossroads for Youth, you can walk away from. So it was like a step down program, and the state and the county funded both fully. And then, I think it was when Engler was governor, he said, we'll fund one fully. And so Oakland County, you have to choose which one. And so they chose Children's Village. So Children's Village does get an extra pot of money that we don't get. Crossroads for Youth, then when it was Camp Oakland, closed, and it reopened as a private, nonprofit organization called Crossroads for Youth. So the kids come, they flow from the courts to Crossroads for Youth agency, and then the agency places them at their facility in Oxford. So we either educate them at Guy's school, or we would have to educate them in our high school, our middle school, our elementary schools.
Thank you.
And just to kind of add a little bit on that, Denise touched on it briefly, it was taken over, was made a charter school
Yes,
for
so we.
about a year.
For 1 year.
And
Deer
then,
Academy.
and then they decided, and this isn't working out so well for us, and what, a month before school started 2 years ago, they said, here you go, Oxford, you can take it back.
So like the agency decided they didn't want public education, they were going to use a charter company, CS Partners, and open it up as a charter school. So we packed up and left, and then after a year, that charter said, well, this didn't make money, we weren't profitable, so they packed up and left, and then we have to educate the kids because they live here.
Ms. Guthrie?
I'm amazed at the customized curriculum that you're able to offer, it sounds like. And from what I can tell, you mentioned that you have 5 teachers and a social worker and a psychologist. Are the teachers the ones offering that curriculum, and how much of Mr. Weaver's time is involved in customizing that curriculum, or any?
Well, currently, we're in the process of teaming up with, when I took over, there was a displacement of leadership at the building, you know what I mean? So they didn't have a leader at the building for quite some time, almost, 6 months, half a school year, whatever, I don't know the timeline. But when I took over, it was more like getting the ship back on the right course. And through last year, like I said, with 6 graduates, we hit the ground running. Now I've been working with Mr. Weaver very closely in regards to curriculum development and really specializing the curriculum for each individual student so we can fill the gaps. What I don't want to happen is I don't want you to come up here and you guys look at the test scores of Crossroads and see a bunch of red. Okay, because that's easy to say, like, oh, we're not doing anything over there, you know what I mean, because of test scores. But the clientele that we service needs us. And when I tell you that, as an educator for 15 years, they need us. Like I said in that statement, I mean it, I wrote that because it's true. If we don't do what's best for those 60, 50, 60, whatever kids come through that door, when I tell you trauma is a word, you read, and I'll give you some of the reports if you want to read them, but there's ugly stuff these kids have gone through. And I'm working with Mr. Weaver, my teachers are working with the rest of the team in the district to build personalized curriculum for kids that have gaps because they don't have anyone fighting for them. So Oxford schools will be fighting for them as long as I'm over there.
Mr. Kokas has done a wonderful job in his first year. The first thing he had to do when he got there was to establish himself as principal. They ran about 6 months without a principal there. We had hired an interim, but they could only do so much. Mr. Kokas has really done a nice job of establishing himself out there, being seen as an instructional leader, really having a direction for the school. And one of the first things he had to do was tackle the culture environment of the school. He's done a really nice job with the positive behavior system. The kids have really responded. The staff has responded because that was a major issue that we had. Both staff had some concerns. I think the agency had a little bit of concerns as well too. And Mr. Kokas has done a nice job of bringing staff and the agency together to solve these issues. So quite frankly, the curriculum was kind of just as they've been doing. We've kind of been going along. They do a nice job, the teachers are doing a really nice job out there, but we're really starting to integrate them more into that process. Plus he utilizes a lot of the online resources as well too, to kind of fill in the picture on the kids through
Title I neglected funding, we were able to get a pair out there to help with not only the GED program, but as well do some of the online stuff, so that took some of the pressure off of the teachers. But Mr. Kokosad has really done a fabulous job as far as we've got somebody out there who has a vision, who has a direction. He's really strong in special ed as well, so that's really coupled really nicely out there to bring all those services together and to start to have, and really trying to meet the needs of these kids. They have a really, really rough background, and it's one of those things where, you know, we don't want to take away from Oxford community kids, but at the same time, these are kids nonetheless, and they need us. And Mr. Kokosad is very right in stating that emphatically. These kids really need us, and they need the stability that we can provide them, and the stability that Mr. Kokosad and his staff can provide. So we're going to work really hard to kind of shore up some things, but we're going to continue to do what's right for those kids out there and make sure that they get the best education they can.
I think we're very lucky that we have him doing this for us. Fantastic.
Well, the pleasure's all mine. I really appreciate the opportunity to do it.
Mr. Conley?
Not a question, Mr. Chairman, but a statement. As a school board member, just want to thank you for your personal passion and let you know that I so appreciate you and your staff's mission perspective. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any questions, thoughts from Mr. Kokosad? All right. Guy, thank you, and please don't ever worry about this board sitting there saying, boy, what are those test scores like out there? You know, at some point, people need to understand that not everything's about a test score. Educating kids that so desperately need it is more important to me, I'm going to speak for myself, than a test score. So thank you for the work
I
you
really
do.
appreciate that.
Please thank your staff.
Will do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Board of Education matters? None? Curriculum and instruction?
Yeah,
Mr.
we have.
Weaver, we have a presentation?
Yeah, we have tonight we have a presentation from Mrs. Shell and OMA curriculum. They've been working hard this summer, getting some curriculum ready, so I'll turn it over to Mrs. Shell and she can tell you all about it.
Okay, I was thinking tonight as I was in my office planning what I was gonna say, and I thought, my goodness, this group has been, I think this is the first, none of you here were here in 2011 when I presented all of the partnership curriculum. And I always get looks like, wow, this is really different.
Hey Jen, I do not think they got the link. It's been crazy in the curriculum office lately.
It's all right.
But they will be getting it later tonight or tomorrow.
Okay.
And so just so you know from that frame of reference as you're talking. So,
Okay.
but it'll be fun.
Printed though, right? Did you print the curriculum?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
So she's gonna give you an overview,
Okay.
kind of, so think in your mind, this is what it's gonna look like in that, and then we'll get it to you, and you'll approve it through me, so I
Okay,
apologize.
so, let's start it. So yes, back in 2011, when we started the Oxford Virtual Academy, we formed a strong relationship with local businesses. And so we were able to provide non-essential classes customized by Oxford schools using the Haiku learning management system. So this group of curriculum, in addition, we probably have, I want to say, at this point, 300 to 400 different types of courses that we've presented over the years. This round was, over the last year, I received input from different businesses and homeschool partnerships interested in different types of courses. It's very project-based, and I'll kind of go into that in a minute. But these are the courses that you will get, the actual curriculum that were written by Oxford teachers. Climate tech, philosophical project, Japanese culture, you'll see their environmental studies project. So they're all kinds of disciplines. They're all multidisciplinary. They're not one core subject. They're all non-essential electives. Each course is custom, Oxford online course built in Haiku, like I said. The Oxford teacher of record collaborates with a local business partner expert in the field to create project-based learning options. We refer to these as partnership elective courses. So a lot of our students that are full-time take 2 of these. If they don't take 2 online electives, they're able to get out in the community, meet with other students, and participate in these 1 day a week project-based courses along with their online component in the Haiku system. So, each non-essential elective course is a blend of the arts, visual performing arts, possibly writing, technology, physical activity, and or math applications, natural world, social sciences, truly multidisciplinary. It's, I think in some ways this community has really, and Oxford Schools has really led the way in innovative online education. These are truly customized. These are not a Pearson or a Calvert or an Apex product. They're Oxfords. So, and like I said, an Oxford certified teacher is assigned to each course. The teacher of record works with the partner expert in the field. They collaborate to create that course on Haiku. The seated component is typically an hour, 1 day a week, and then they have assignments throughout the week. And it involves the application of the different concepts that they've learned, flipped classroom style enrichment, exploring, and practical learning. So we have, I wanted to give an example. Our climate, tech, and human interaction is this course looks at climate but through different lenses: psychology, technology, and artistic expression. Choir and academic expressions, that's one of the 20. The end result for this course is to become informed, reflective, and critical practitioners in the arts and other academic areas, including math, visual performing arts, technology, writing, research, foreign language, and psychology. Believe it or not, choir, I'm sure you know those of you who are into music, can be a very multidisciplinary course. So, and then culinary expressions. So it's not a traditional culinary arts that you might see like at the high school or career tech. It's more of a project-based, multidisciplinary as well. Cooking, baking, and artistic expression. So there's arts in there and technology as well. And then the leadership one I chose to give an example as well. This class prepares students to meet the challenges of leadership in today's complex global environment. This course involves communication, research, psychology, and service learning. So really excited about that course. Our homeschool groups, they're Harbor, Renaissance, COVID East, Way of Wisdom, United Learning Academy, and CTK Homeschool Group, and these are all over Southeast Michigan. The business partnerships, a lot of these are local and then not so local. As you can see there, we have a total of 24 different partnerships where kids can go and practice what they're learning in their online course. Things from sewing, the Den Training Academy right here, the Merge Art Studio in town, Energy Zone, Johnson Photography, we have Flip Spot, Feel Your Life Cafe, Fraser Art, Shenanigans, Horse Farm where they learn agri-science. There's our reach right now for Oxford Virtual Academy, and we thank you for your continued support. We really, really appreciate through the years the board's support and this real innovative effort. I just wanted to real quickly show you, just to give you an idea. This is a Haiku classroom. It's archived right now, but this is climate. So this is the extreme weather course that was one of them on the screen. And as you can see, there's a syllabus. They have, each week they have an activity. Like this one is about becoming a meteorologist. They have things that they have to do, polls, discussion boards, things like that. This one is a culinary arts. Actually, we're going to change the title to Culinary Expressions. This one meets at Feel Your Life right across the street, up at the Legacy Center. They have all kinds of activities embedded in here. Here's Taco Tuesday. They learn about all kinds of things, all kinds of applications of culinary expressions. So the next one that I wanted to highlight is leadership. And this one I'm super excited about. They've got different activities in here where the kids go in, they read, they might have a video, they'll have possibly a discussion board, and they have to do some type of activity to respond throughout the week. So then they go back to their class and get ready to, you know, apply what they've learned in the online classroom, or they get an enrichment for something they learned the week before. So that's kind of how it's really a kind of a blended model for our kiddos. So. But this is, I would say it's a pretty popular choice here at the Virtual Academy. A lot of the kids really enjoy getting out and meeting other students and working together on projects. It's pretty cool to watch. I go out and visit as much as I can. Pretty cool stuff. Do you have any questions?
I have one. You had your last slide had all the areas that we reached, that one there. Are those students? Is that what that?
Yep,
Okay.
students all over. Yep, we have 24 locations all mixed up in there.
Okay.
Yep, but that's the
Very
students. That's not OSAC, we have a different one for OSAC, but that's Virtual Academy, yeah. Yep.
Any questions? No?
Just that on your slide before, this one, the one at the very end, you picked the right one, if you go to leadership.
Robert's
Oh.
Rules of Order.
Because
Yeah.
it showed Robert's Rules
Yeah.
of Order and parliamentary procedure.
I want to know if
I'm so
Mr. Donnelly is
impressed.
teaching that one.
That's
Spare time.
I'm interested to know how you get that done. How do you
There you
do
go.
Robert's Rules of Order, parliamentary procedure practice with training? That's
Yeah, I think Mike and Tom are gonna.
There we go.
Super cool.
I'm really proud of this. This is
Yeah.
wonderful. This
Very good.
It is, and when you get to curriculum, you'll see, they're set up like all the rest, and we just very, the template similar, we did try to pull some of the standards and all the different, because we don't want to just have one, it's gotta be multidisciplinary, so you'll see all the standards, you'll see the activities and resources, and then the assessments.
That's
So it's, you know, I think you're gonna find that the board will want to approve, it's very well done, Ken's leadership is always excellent, and making sure that we follow the curriculum guidelines, so.
Any further questions?
Thank you very much, I
Thank
appreciate
you.
your support, I really do.
So Pat will send you that curriculum link, it'll be in Google Docs, so look forward, and then we'll come back in 2 weeks for approval on the curriculum, so I apologize for that.
Okay. Moving on, item number 7, finance and operations, Mr. Barnett.
Yes, tonight we have, I see, it says bond election ballot language, I'm sorry, it's sinking fund election ballot language, which was properly included in your packet. So there is a resolution for the adoption of that ballot language for the November election. Last week, the board approved the ballot language for the bonds specifically. So this is the sinking fund. And, in addition to that, we have the purchase of a transit cargo van from the 2017-18 food service or cafeteria.
Okay. We have 2 items, recommendations for action. Ms. Guthrie,
I move to approve the sinking fund ballot proposition language as presented.
support. Support, Mr. Bailey. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Pat, when, can you make sure on the, I'm sure you will, but just on the minutes, for, meeting minutes for next week, it's changed from bond to sinking.
Already.
Thank you. Okay, second item, recommendation for action. Dr. Brazington?
Move to approve the purchase of a 2017 Ford Transit Connect cargo van at a cost of $23,239 from Gorham Ford. Funding will be from the 2017-18 Food Service Fund, i.e. the Cafeteria Fund.
Support. Support, Ms. Guthrie. Discussion. Sam, that 23,239 number, we're voting on it now because it was on a state.
Yes, it's a my deal, so basically it's competitively bid. And it's one of those things where the reason why we're coming to you for the approval at this particular point in time is because the wait is 6 months for one. So there's a few on the lot right now with the my deal special. Okay, so that's the urgency.
Okay. I wanted to make sure that we have that.
What's kind of unique as well with that price is actually the state of Michigan competitive bid threshold for 16-17, and it doesn't come out for the new 17-18 until September. It's 23,417, so this is still under the 16-17 threshold, but it is competitively bid through mine.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Oh,
I'm sorry.
yes.
What's the van gonna be used for?
Actually, the current one is used for transporting basically food service related items between our buildings.
The one that's parked behind the high school?
That's
Is this
correct.
replacing that?
That's correct. And so what's going to happen with that existing van is it's going to be utilized by Tony Sarkins and the operations and maintenance group within the district.
The other van?
Correct.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, Mark. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8, Human Resources, Slotowski.
Yes, thank you for approving the recommendation for Leslie Klein, the Spanish teacher. We have a lot of activity going on in the human resources area, so we have a lot of interviews happening. Guy and I interviewed today and had a very good session. We'll have some second interviews. I did a second interview at the high school today, and I had a wonderful student participant whose dad is sitting over there. So they were great. The kids are great when we do the second interviews. So I will be bringing some additional recommendations soon. And I just wanted to let the board know that we'll have new teacher orientation at the high school in the Performing Arts Center lobby. If you would like to stop in and meet some of the new teachers at 8 a.m. on 8/17, you're welcome to do so. Hopefully I have a few more recommendations in the next meeting.
Okay, thank you. Item 9, Student Services, Sweet.
I just wanted to let you know that the bullying policy was up for review. It was reviewed. There were no changes to the policy, so it did not go to the policy committee. It will not come up for a first read or a second read because there are no changes. But just want to make you aware that every year we have to review the bullying policy.
Yep.
There was a recent school board, like suing of a school board over a bullying issue, and I believe the state was New Jersey. This was 2 weeks ago, less than 2 weeks ago. And I was just curious about, when you review the bullying policy, how that goes, like when your process for reviewing the bullying policy.
So we have, the state of Michigan gives us very specific criteria for a bullying policy that we must follow. So we align Neola, the company that helps us write our board policies, aligns that with the Michigan law. Some board policies are just policies. Other ones have specific laws attached to them. Restraint and seclusion has laws attached to it. Bullying has laws attached to it. So we take the state guidance, Neola aligns that guidance and those laws, and then writes a policy that they give us some leeway, some flexibility in some of the things, and then other portions of it are just mandated.
Forgive me for not knowing this, but I'm just wondering if are there specific parts of that policy that address attention that school boards should give to bullying issues when those are brought before the board, or negligence, potential negligence? These are vague questions I realize,
Right.
but I'm just wondering if
Well,
there's
I'm sure that
specific
if I don't know the situation in New Jersey, but if there was some negligence on the part of the district, a parent could sue the district. The board would be a part of that. Hopefully our staff is well versed in our
Oh, for sure.
bullying
Yeah.
policies, preventions. We use the OVAS bullying prevention program. I don't know the New Jersey case, but.
No, but you feel good, really good about the fact that this is a widespread program that's really rare. I mean, I know,
Yes.
having been in the schools,
Yes.
I remember the training that was done
Mhm.
on a repeated basis with the staff and the students about how to prevent bullying.
Well, and I think we had a pretty strong policy and a pretty strong process even prior to the implementation of OVAS. And OVAS has been implemented by the district since 2011. We saw those bully prevention survey results.
Right.
last June that showed a real decrease in our bullying district-wide, so that OBEAS program
Yeah,
is
that was really
working.
good, because I remember that, yeah.
Ken works with the building principals regularly on making sure that all the building principals are aligned with that program.
That's great. Thank you for your work on that, I was just curious.
Yeah, Denise reviewed the policy along with exclusion and restraining changes and stuff like that, all at team meetings.
Yeah, and I know we've heard about that in our various meetings, even recently, so. Thank you.
And that's one policy, the bullying policy has to be reviewed every year. There are other policies that that are not, there's not that law mandate to be reviewed every year.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you.
Mr. Crowe?
Just a follow-up, maybe clarification. So we, as a district, pay Neola for their expert advice in giving us options when it comes to policy. And along with that is the benefit that if the district were to be sued, Neola will back us up and that our policies are written according to law. So while that doesn't stop somebody from suing the district, it does give us added assurance that if somebody does come after us because our policy is written illegally or we're not addressing it annually or whatever reason, it does give us additional support to defend ourselves. I'll say that from a policy perspective. So.
Okay. Moving on, unscheduled audience participation. All right, Ann.
I'm good. I'm good.
Clarification,
No needed.
scheduled activities. We have another Board of Education meeting here August 22nd, here at the Board of Education office at 6:30. And all the parents are just waiting for August 28th, the first day of school. And Labor Day is the 1st through the 4th, and we are not in session those days. Final board comments. Mr. Donnelly.
Just want to thank everyone for their hard work. Just great presentations. Thank you very much.
Dr. Breezy.
I echo Tom's comments.
Mr. Bailey.
I agree.
Ms.
Me
Guthrie.
too, Riding the Wildcat, all the extremes that we service, it's amazing how well we're doing, I feel. Thank you all.
Mr. Stefan.
Yeah, special thanks to Guy. I really didn't understand how we fit in with the Crossroads. I knew it was there and I knew sort of what it was about. And being in the industry, I knew kids got to go there, but I didn't know how it worked. So that really helped me.
We're definitely not gonna be an island anymore, sir.
Yeah, so thank you very much. And when is the clap in, welcome back thing?
For teachers and administrators.
Yeah.
So that would be Monday, August 21st.
21st.
Yep. The continental breakfast begins at 8. We'll conclude that around 8:30 or so, and then make our way down to the auditorium. We'll start promptly, hopefully promptly at 9 with our welcome back ceremony, and that should be concluded by 10.
Thank you. That's all, Mr. President.
Thank you. Well, you know, it's pretty sad when August 1st rolls around and everybody says summer is almost over. We still got another month, you know, of the nice weather, but this week has not been great. But I want to thank the teachers and the staff, you know, for them, the summer's over and the work begins for them and for the central office here. Thank you for the work that you put in over the summer. You know, it's not, you guys don't just go on vacation like the students do. So I want to, again, thank everybody here. And I also want to just let you all know as a board how I am very, very impressed with the roles that you have all started to fill and sit in. I got an email from Jenny wanted to dive into finances, and she set up a meeting with Sam and Connie, and that's rolling. I got some guidance from Joyce today as far as some conversations that we were having. So it was very nice to be able to see the roles that you guys are starting, that we're all starting to take, and there's some discussion between, you know, myself and everybody here. That's very good to see that you guys are raring to go, and it makes me feel really, really good about this upcoming school year. So I wanted to take this time to thank you all for digging in and getting rolling, and you know, we've got a couple more things to take care of as far as negotiations and contracts and things like that. We want to get them done before we get rolling. We're going to roll into 2018 and just keep things going. So again, board, thank you. Central office, thank you. Tim, thank you. And with that, it's all yours.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Guy, for both your presentations tonight. I think Oxford is unique out of any district in the state, mainly because of your two programs. There's not anybody around that can touch either one of them. So I'm really appreciative of your presentations tonight. I also want to make sure that the board knows, and everyone else, that today Marianne Marconi, our middle school assistant principal, is taking a middle school principal position in Avondale. And you know, not only are we shaping the student leaders of tomorrow, but I also feel like we're starting to shape the administrative leaders of tomorrow. And so we're very proud of Marianne, and I'm sure she'll be missed, but we're really happy for her. And then lastly, Dan alluded to it a little bit. All of our contracts we've completed now, including our at-will employees, but I will be bringing a recommendation to the board, hopefully at the next meeting, as far as cabinet member contracts at our next meeting. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. And of course, if anybody wants to give me any input or anything like that, feel free to email me, call me, whatever, and yeah, just let me know whatever you want me to know.
Tom, why don't you just announce what we're gonna do too? We're gonna have a proposal
For the next meeting.
for the next meeting.
Okay. For the superintendent.
For superintendent.
Okay. All right, very good. And since you discussed Marianne, I didn't want to just throw it out there, but you're right. You know, we are providing a hotbed of leaders in our district. Teachers, admins, principals. It says a lot about Oxford. You hear all the noise out there, all the things that go on, but when people start coming into this district and they start taking some of our leaders, it tells you we're doing something right. So we should, although Marianne will be missed and some others will be missed that have gone, we should be proud of the fact that we're the source for a lot of good leaders. So we'll have to get with Jim Schwartz and let him know that we're not real happy about that. You already told him? Good.
Give me, he'll mow us, he'll pay us.
That's right. And Guy, again, you know, we go back a little ways, and I just want you all to know, Guy just doesn't talk. Those aren't his words to him. He lives it. He breathes it. He's the perfect guy out there, and we're very happy to have, fortunate to have Guy and Janet. So
I think you could say that Guy has given voice to Crossroads. And we can.
You guys are gonna make me cry here.
that's all right. That's okay. That's all right.
I'll end with that.
Yep. Other, 15.
Nothing.
Nothing? With that, it's great to be a Wildcat. You can try